Jai Jinendra, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Jainism Inside Out at Sohas. My name is Jagruti, and my co-host is Soham. We feel incredibly honored to kick off this historic event, which is brought to you by UK Jain community and Sohas. We have a wonderful morning with a lineup of some magnificent speakers.
That's right. This event is a celebration of the landmark new exhibition, Pure Soul, the Jaina Spiritual Traditions, organised by SOAS to mark 20 successful years of the Centre of Jaina Studies. The exhibition, which as you all know runs until the 25th of June, reflects the pluralism of Jaina thought and practice, focusing on previously underrepresented facets of the Jaina philosophy and way of life.
To complement the exhibition, the Jain community has put together a 3-day program of education and cultural events. We've got some amazing performances, interesting talks and discussions, and fun workshops lined up. Our goal is to engage everyone and show them the beauty and depth of the Jain religion, preached by Lord Mahavir 2,500 years ago, which is so relevant and true to our everyday living today.
We would like to acknowledge the organisations that have actively supported this event, including Shri Digambar Jain Association, Shrimad Rajchandra Mission Dharampur, Shri Raj Saubhag Satsang Mandal, Jain Vishwabharati London, Oshwal Association UK, Young Jains UK, SCVP Jain School, and the Jain Student Association, amongst others. It's amazing to see so many Jain organisations working together with SOAS to make this event happen.
And let's not forget the amazing group of volunteers who've been working tirelessly to put this whole event together. They've organised the scheduling, ticketing, food, and everything in between.
Please note that photography will be taking place during the session, and if you do not consent to having a photograph taken, please speak to one of the photographers. With that said, we invite you to sit back, relax, and immerse yourself into the rich world of Jainism to explore the beauty of its teachings, culture, and philosophy.
To start, we have an exciting lecture ahead of us, and I'm honoured to introduce our first speaker for the day, Mr. Ankur Jain.
Mr. Jain has flown in all the way from Bhopal, India, to share his knowledge and insights with us today. A true scholar at heart, he holds multiple degrees in education, Hindi, and philosophy. Currently, he's pursuing his PhD in mass communication.
Our speaker has an impressive background in journalism, working as a news editor at Doordarshan News in Bhopal. His expertise extends beyond journalism, as he has written a self-help book and has presented research papers at various conferences.
Today, he'll be introducing us to Taran Swami, a 16th century Jain saint, outlining his contribution to Indian philosophy and his continuing influence on Jainism today.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Ankur Jain as he takes the stage for our first lecture this morning.
Thank you very much for this wonderful introduction. First slide, please. Here I am going to present my research paper, which is focused on Taran Swami, the 16th century and underrated Jain saint. The topic of my research paper is Spiritual Thoughts of Jain Saint Taran Swami and his contribution in the field of Indian philosophy. Before I start my talks, I want to clarify one thing, that this is my first ever English presentation ever. So, mistakes, bound to happen, mistakes, definitely there will be a lot of mistakes I will be do during my presentation. Please ignore these mistakes and try to understand what I mean. So, let's start. These are the key points of our discussion. After the nirvana of Lord Mahavir and 3 Anubaddha Kevali, the flag of Jainism remains intact today even after the passing of about 2600 years of Pancham Kal, means Dukma Kal, this period, also called Kali Yuga. Due to the knowledgeable acharyas, munirajas, and great spiritual thinkers, Jnani of Angapurva, the spiritual consciousness of Jainism has remained alive today due to the philosophy given by many capable saints like Acharya Dharsen, Acharya Pushpadant, Acharya Bhutbali, Acharya Kund, Swami Samantabhadra, Acharya Uma Swami, Amrit Chandra, Akalank Dev, Yogindu Dev, and many sages like Muriraj Padma Prabhamaldhari Dev. The great spiritual saint Taran Swami was born in the 16th century in the legacy of these Nirgranth Digambar. Nirgranth Digambar means a nude, sky-clad, passionless saint. And the great personality not only influenced the entire 16th century, but even today, after passing nearly 500 years, the influence of Acharya Taran Swami is more or less felt in Jainism, indelibly existing on the tradition of religious followers and Jainism. Acharya Taran Swami was a Jain saint, a Jain religious teacher and founder of the Taran Panth, a sect of Digambar Jainism. The traditional biographies consider him a ritual reformer for rejecting the authority of Bhattarkas and his emphasis on aniconism and inner realization. He is credited for writing 14 texts. Taran Swami was born in Bilahari, Katni district in the state of Madhya Pradesh, India. He took Muni Diksha, means became saint, in Sukha village in Damoh district, and he did spiritual practice, means sadhana, in Semarkhedi of Vidisha district, India. He took Samadhi. Samadhi means the state of absorbing equanimity by giving up food and water till the end of life in Malhargarh, Nisaiji, located in Ashoknagar district of Madhya Pradesh, India. That is the reason why Taran Panth is prevalent in these districts and surrounding areas, has more followers. Here we can see two pictures. One is a temple of Taran Panth. It's called Chaityalaji. And second is the place of faith of Taran Panth. It's called Vediji. So these are the two main monuments where every Taran Panthi, the followers of Taran Panth, worshipping. Now, importance of Taran Swami. As we seen, Taran Swami lived in the 15th, 16th century central India. The 16th century has been the most tumultuous century in Indian history in terms of religious and cultural ups and downs. At the same time, the entire Hindu and Jain believers were being greatly attacked and terrorized by the religious frenzied atrocities of the rulers, means Mughals, and its centers of worship were being ruthlessly destroyed. In such a situation, the security of religious places had become a matter of grave concern. In this period, along with religious beliefs, the safety of Jinvani, means Jain literature, Granthas, and the extinction of philosophy among the frightened people was also a matter of great concern. The appearances of Acharya Taran Swami at such a critical time to overcome both these challenges was a great event for the entire Jain tradition. Acharya Taran Swami reinforced the path of salvation by preaching pure philosophy to the Jain religious followers, drawn a fear with his great spiritual personality and creativity while preserving the ancient Jain Agama spiritual tradition. The influence of Acharya Taran Swami's personality was that in his company not only Jains but also followers of non-Jain sect joined this Vitrag Dharma, means the religion of ahimsa, abstinence. Even today, this great favor of Taran Swami is remembered by the followers of Taran Panth almost daily in their temple rituals like this. Jo kadapi guru tar ko aur nahi ho to avatar, mithya bhav sagar vishay aur kaise lehte par. It means, if Acharya Taran Swami were not born in this period, then how would we be free from the miseries of this world. Acharya Taran Swami laid a special emphasis on the practice of philosophy by worshipping Jinvani, Jain Shastra, for self-upliftment and upliftment of religion in the circumstances in those times, and by keeping the worship of Jinvani as the main one. The rest of the activities were secondary. This was a revolutionary step. Due to this, on the one hand, inner ignorance was removed. On the other hand, the ostentatiousness of the rituals also decreased, and to win the hearts of the emotional devotees who were shedding tears over the ruined remains, he wiped their tears and said that the true Dharmaitan, means pilgrims, is your own soul. That is, you are God yourself, whom no one can destroy. You go in the refuse of your soul in your sentient form. He is the true refuse with determination. He is the real cause of attaining state of omniscient or supreme godhood. By his reliance, all the arhantas means the embodied state of omniscient, and perfect nature have become divine. This is the true path of liberation. He says in his scripture named Kamal Battisi, Chidanand Chitvanam, Cheyan Anand Sahav Anandam, Kam Malam Payadikhipanam, Mamal Sahaven Anmoy Sanjuttam. It means, he says here that knowledge and blissful soul should be meditated upon, because through this one attain the bliss of knowledge or natural self-happiness. And by the experience of pure nature, along with this bliss, the karmic matter bound with soul get destroyed. Now, in this slide, we can see contribution of Taran Swami in Jain literature. In his life, Taran Swami explained the meaning of religion to the general public by preaching and writing literature, and composed 14 books in the language of the general public, also called Lok Bhasha. These texts are divided into 5 parts, and they are named as 5 mat or sect. Number 1 is Vichar mat. It means reflection. In this mat, Taran Swami wrote 3 granthas. One is Mala Rohan, means garland offering. Second is Pandit Puja, wise worships. Third is Kamal Battisi, Lotus 32. Here 32 verses is there. That is why it's called Kamal Battisi. Next is Achar mat, means conduct. In this mat, Taran Swami wrote 1 granth, Shravkachar, means lay conduct. Next is Sarmat, means essential teaching. In this mat, he wrote Nyan Samuchay Sar, substantial collective knowledge. Tribhangi Sar, means essential intrides. Upadesh Shuddha Sar, substantial pure sermons. Next is Mamal Mat, means spiritual purity. In this mat, he wrote 2 granthas. One is Mamal Pahod, means handbook on purity. And next is Chovis Thana, 24 topics. And last one is Keval Mat, means absolute intent. In this mat, he wrote 5 granthas. Number 1 is Chadmastvani, discourses of non-omniscient. Naam Mala, garland of synonym names of object. Khati Ka Vishesh, special uprooter. Siddha Swabhav, eternal, non-corporeal, omniscient nature of soul. And last one is Sunya Swabhav, emptied nature of soul. Despite the great spiritual contribution of Taran Swami, it was a matter of concern that the great philosophy contained in his book remained limited to a special class. In his time, Taran Swami, rising above the boundaries of caste, sect, class, propounded the path of liberation for all living beings. But at present, only a few thousand people who later came to be known as the followers of Taran Panth have access to these great spiritual texts. Due to the limitations of the sect, other sect people either did not try to understand them due to their prejudices, or they could not get their introduction well. Here are some pictures of Taran Swami's text, Mala Rohan's handwritten copies. He wrote it in 16th century. Now we will talk about the central theme of Taran Swami's book. As I said earlier, that Taran Swami was a saintly man with a liberal heart, away from discrimination of caste, creed, and high and low class, and he continued to hurt orthodox tradition and hypocrisy throughout his life. He also said in his book Upadesh Suddhasar, Jai kulam nahu pichadi, Suddha sammat darsanam pichai. It means, he says that purity and greatness comes not from caste, creed, or sect, but from pure right belief and to know yourself. Who am I? From the study of Pujya Taran Swami's scripture, it is clearly stated that he was influenced by Acharya Kundakund's book Samay-sar, Pravachan Sar, Ashtapahod, and Yogindu Dev's Paramatma Prakash and Yogsar, etc. And he definitely studied these texts deeply. The meaning of many gathas quoted by Taran Swami is found in the text of other acharyas also, partially or fully, and Taran Swami also laid more emphasis on self-realization than mere knowledge or fasting activities. He also writes, Anesh Shrut Janati, Brat Tap Kriya Anekdha, Ane Kasht Kartavyam, Nyan Hino Vritha Bhavet. It means, he says that one know many scriptures, does many types of fasting, penance, etc. and other activities, but doing all this is just suffering, because doing all this without self-knowledge is not effective. Similar sentiments have been expressed by Acharya Kundakunda in his book Pravachan Sar. He wrote that Jam annani kammam khavedi bhavasaya sahasya kodihim tamanani tihim gutto khavedi ussas mettena. Kundakunda Acharya says that the work which the ignorant spends in millions of lives, the work of the wise being hidden in three ways, mind, speech, body, spends it only in exhalation. Pandit Daulat Ram, a famous Jain scholar, has expressed the same thing in his book Chhe Dhala. Koti janm tap tape gyan bin karm jhare je, ज्ञानी के छिन माही त्रिगुप्ति तय सहज टरे ते, मुनिव्रत धार अनंत बार ग्रैवक उपजायो, पैनिज आत्म ज्ञान बिना सुख लेश न पायो. Jain scholar Daulat Ramji writes that even after doing penance of crores of births, as much karma is not destroyed by the ignorant, that much is done in a moment by the wise one. This soul has attained the high heavens, Gravyak infinitely many times by the Munibrat, but could not attain even a trace of happiness without self-realization. In this way, we see that Acharya Taran Swami has given priority to self-worship, self-realization and self-knowledge at many places, which has been the main goal of our spiritual tradition. Along with this, Taran Swami has sung the glory of rightness everywhere and has described falsehood as the biggest fault and cause of sorrow. He writes, Mithyatvam paramam dukham, samyaktvam paramam sukham, tatra mithyamatam tyaktam shuddha samyakt sardhayam. Taran Swami says that false belief is the cause of ultimate sorrow, and the right belief is the cause of ultimate happiness. That's why, leaving aside false beliefs and false opinion, the pure right belief should be practiced. Not only this, while describing the glory of Samyak Darshan, he further writes, Anek Pat Pathanam Cha, Anek Kriya Sanjutam, Darshanam Suddha Na Janante, Britha Dan Anekdha. Taran Swami explains to the devotees that he may be reading many scripture, may be observing various types of conventional conduct, and may be giving many types of charity, but all this is vain if he does not know pure right belief and does not experience it. Now we talk about the language of Taran Swami. Many types of questions, marks have been raised on Taran Swami's language, style, his syntax, etc. But they are all baseless, because Taran Swami composed his ballads and flowers on the basis of the words of Sanskrit and Prakrit language that were true to the then folk language, in which, along with self-worship at some places, the predominance of Bhakti Rasa is also visible, in which he mainly sang the song of Shuddhatma, the song of pure soul. The expression of these texts are very strange. The basic principle of Jainism and the main elements of spiritualism are clearly reflected in it, but the author's writing style is not limited to one mold and one stream. The way in which the impulse of thoughts went, then they captured it, and the language they used in this work is very personal. It is neither Sanskrit nor Prakrit, Apabhrinsh, nor is it a vernacular language. In my understanding, it would be better to call it Taran language. It is difficult to take full advantage of the deep and beautiful sentiments that are filled in them due to the above awkward style. Now we discuss about some myths and facts about Taran Swami. One myth is that there is a misconception about Taran Swami that he was a different saint from Jainism. Fact is, he was a Jain Nirgranth, Digambar, means nude, sky-clad, passionless saint, and he took Muni Diksha and grade vows in the age of 60. Again, next myth is, there is a misconception that Taran Swami started a new religion. This is also wrong. Keeping in mind the circumstances of those times, Taran Swami gave the same sermon which is preached by Tirthankar, Sarvanya, Omniscient, and Jain Acharyas. Again, next myth is, Taran Swami and Taran Swami's followers do not believe in other Jain Acharyas. It is also wrong. Taran Swami has preached in the Sarvanya, Omniscient tradition, and all the saints who have been in that tradition are accepted by the followers of Taran Panth. Again, myth, Taran Swami was anti-idol. Fact is, Taran Swami considered self-realization as the main way to get rid of sorrows. So he did not give importance to other external activities and worship, etc. Now we can see in this slide some opinions of various scholars regarding Taran Swami. From time to time, many unbiased scholars and followers have been understanding and praising the sum and essence of the text of Taran Swami. Pandit Parmeshti Das, a great Jain scholar, he says that Taran Swami expounded the highest spiritual principle in his unique language style. Dr. Hira Lal Jain, he wrote commentary on Dhabla and many other granthas. The basic principle of Jainism and the main elements of spiritualism are clearly reflected in Taran Swami text. Gurudev Shri Kanji Swami. The name of Kanji Swami is prominent among the spiritual great men who have sung the glory of the spiritual knowledge of Taran Swami and have also given discourses on his spiritual speech, which have been also published in 2 parts in the name of Ashtapravachan or 8 lecture. Kanji Swami says that there is pure spirituality in the book of Taran Swami. Next name is Phool Chand Siddhant Sastri. Everybody knows his name. Acharya Taran Swami laid special emphasis on the practice of philosophy by worshipping Jinvani, Jain literature, for self-upliftment and upliftment of religion in the circumstances of those times. And last but not the least, here is the necessary to mention one very important name, without which it was not possible to understand the meaning of Taran Swami's text. That name is Brahmachari Sheetal Prasad Ji, who not only wrote commentaries on Samayasar, Niyamsar, etc., but also did a great job by writing commentaries on 9 books of Taran Swami. In 20th century, he has translated Taran Swami's granthas into Hindi, and because of him, we can understand the essence of scripture of Taran Swami. Now, we come to conclusion. I have lot of material to read out, but we have not enough time. So let's come to conclusion. In this way, we see that Acharya Taran Swami gave his sermon by focusing only on the achievement of pure soul, keeping all other things secondary. Paving the way for self-realization should be the main goal of a moksharthi. By repeatedly studying the scripture of Jain Taran Swami, there is a need for continuous study of these scriptures so that by understanding the heart of Taran Swami's teachings, we can become true followers of Lord Arihanta's path and make our life successful without birth and death. In fact, this is the path of salvation, this is the religion of salvation, and this is the way of life. This is the real Jainism. Taran Swami's literary contribution is most relevant even in the current circumstances, because even today, for getting the real form of religion, people are wasting their lives in extraneous rituals and dogmas. It is not right to weigh Taran Swami on literary scale, but the message or which he gave his whole life with honesty needs to be imbibed in one's life. Taran Swami propagated religion by following the original path of Jain Tirthankara, Shrutkevalis and Acharyas, and experienced the only pure soul throughout his life and inspired the people to experience this pure soul. By excluding Taran Swami from the Jain scholarly tradition, we would surely be missing a very important literary contribution. In short, the attainment of the pure soul and the realization of oneself in the form of a pure soul, different from the world, body and pleasure, is the Jainism. And this is the Taran Panth or sect. The attainment of the pure soul is the essence of the teachings of Taran Swami. And in the end, I would just like to say that what is the basic objective of all the scripture of Jainism is also the objective of Taran Swami's scripture. And that objective is to show the right path of salvation to the miserable, capable souls, to make them realize that they are potentially God, Paramatma, and they can attain Godhood through self-realization, and they need not to remain just like a slave of the so-called imaginary creator or God. To make them understand the true nature of omniscient Arihanta God, and that of the self-soul through the true posture of Jina's idol, silently preaching the devotee to remain self-absorbed like him. And for attaining happiness, they need not to grope in the darkness of uncertainty and doubt, etc. And to free the mundane soul from all sorts of pains and miseries of embodied state of existence, and to install them in supreme bliss forever, and to get rid of birth and death cycle forever. This is the objective of the scripture of Taran Swami, and this is the objective of Jainism and every acharyas who wrote his scripture. In the end, our acharyas and Taran Swami did not wrote his scripture for doing conferences or seminars only, but the main objective is to know yourself. In the end, I want to share something in my mother tongue. A famous saying by Yugal ji, जिसने चेतन के भीतर झांका बस उसने जीवन देखा, बाकी ने तो खींची रे परितप्त तटों पर रेखा. Thank you very much.
Okay, Jain,
Questions are there?
we brought
I'm
we
back
brought our
again.
speaker back, so we've got 10 minutes or so to do Q&A. So if anyone has any questions,
Please don't take very tough questions. I'm. Yeah, okay.
does anyone here have any questions? Yeah, okay.
Hi, thank you very much for this. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I have a question with regards to Samyak Darshana. So we've had during the whole day yesterday several speakers, especially in Kanji Swami tradition, we saw it as self-realization. You are using different translations for Samyak Darshana, so you use right belief, you use rightness in your slides, and self-realization. So I'm wondering how these, what it actually means, Samyak Darshana, for Taran Swami.
Word can
How
be
it-
different.
And how it is different from knowledge as well.
No, word used for Samyak Darshan can be different, but the meaning of the meaning is real. The real meaning is that the self-realization is the Samyak Darshan. Who am I? I am not confined to this body or my external pleasure, etc. But the what should we say that the continuous भाई अच्युत थोड़ा मदद करो निरंतर बहने वाली जो ज्ञान धारा है we have to know that the knowledge continuously we understand everything because of that is I am not anything else from that. The flow of knowledge, yes, that is me. So here we can use different of words, but the meaning is same. Same meaning of Acharya Kunda Kunda, Acharya Amrit Chandra, Gurudev Shri Kanji Swami, and Taran Swami. Everybody says same thing, but the word can be different, so it's no problem. Please give mic to Peter. He is going to pull my leg.
Following up on this, did he say anything different from Kunda Kunda? And
Yeah.
if not, why did he write all these books? And another thing, I was very interested in hearing that he actually became a Muni at the end. How do we know about it? What is the evidence for that?
Some वो शिलालेख को क्या बोलते हैं? हाँ? Scriptures in Chanderi district found here and wrote on that scripture that he took Muni Diksha, and also a Thikane Sar, a collection of the history of Jainism, Thikane Sar. Here also it is a evidence that Taran Swami took Muni Diksha in the end of life. He wrote books because every time needs the elaboration of their own language. Every time. The 16th century's people know the form of know the religion in that time language. So Taran Swami wrote his books in general public language. It's called Lok Bhasha. So that is why he wrote books, because the people of that time did not know the language of Prakrit, Sanskrit, etc. That is why he used general public language to describe religion. Okay, thank you.
I think we've got time for maybe one more question.
Okay, please.
Over on this side here. Yeah.
Am I able to convey myself? Thank you. Because I am working in the Doordarshan, and Doordarshan is fully a Hindi news channel. So if you want to know, want to listen me in Hindi, I can speak continuously 4 or 5 hours. But in English it is not possible to speak. It is he gave me 35 minutes, but I completed my lecture in 25-30 minutes. Yes, please.
Ankurji, it's a great presentation for Taran Swami.
Thank you very much, sir.
My question is the Samyak Darshan. You just said that Samyak Darshan is a hallmark, and that's true. What's the process Taran Swami is suggesting to obtain Samyak Darshan? What are the pathways I, as a lay person, should go? You can answer in Hindi or English. Either it will be okay. I don't know whether other people, but for me it will be either.
देखिए, तारण स्वामी ने कोई अलग तरह से मार्ग को नहीं बताया है. तारण स्वामी ने सिर्फ वही बातें जो कि देखिए 16th सेंचुरी एक ऐसा समय था जब मूर्तियां तोड़ी जा रही थीं, ग्रंथों को जलाया जा रहा था. तो उस समय एक कहीं ना कहीं निराशावाद का माहौल था लोगों के बीच में. तो वो ये सोच रहे थे कि अब ऐसे में क्या किया जाए, जबकि हमारे सारे आस्था के जो केंद्र हैं वो जलाए जा रहे हैं, वो नष्ट किए जा रहे हैं. तो अब क्या करें? तो उन्होंने कहा कि लोग यदि इतनी निराशा में डूबे रहेंगे तो ये नरभव तो उन्हें वास्तव में किस लिए मिला है? सम्यक दर्शन प्राप्त करने के लिए. तो आप निराशावादी होकर सिर्फ ये सोचते रहोगे कि मेरा शास्त्र जला दिया, मूर्तियां तोड़ दी गई, तो अब तो जीवन का कोई उद्देश्य नहीं रह गया है. तो द रियल फॉर्म ऑफ योर लाइफ, जो श्रीमद राजचंद्र जी ने कहा कि जिस संसार का बढ़ना अरे नर देह की ये हार है, नहीं एक पल इसका तुझे किंचित विवेक विचार है. तो संसार तो लोगों का बढ़ रहा है, वो अपने संसार को तो सीमित नहीं कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जो चीज तोड़ी जा रही है उसकी निराशा में डूबकर अपना जीवन नष्ट कर रहे हैं. तो उन्होंने सिर्फ वही आचार्यों की जो मूल भाषा, जो उनकी सेइंग थी, उसको ही अपने शब्दों में ये बताया कि जो असली धर्मायतन है, जो तीर्थ है, वो आपका अपना आत्मा है. तो यदि आप उस आत्मा की प्राप्ति करते हो तो यही तीर्थ है, यही देव है, यही शास्त्र है, यही गुरु है. यदि आत्मा को जिन शासन से अलग कर दिया जाए, प्योर सोल को आत्मा से निकाल दिया, वो जिन शासन से निकाल दिया जाए, जैनिज्म में क्या रह जाएगा? मैं सिर्फ ये कहूंगा कि जैन दर्शन के सारे तीर्थंकर, मैं हिंदी में बोल रहा हूं, ये वाली बात अपने दोस्तों को अंग्रेजी में बता दीजिए जो नहीं जानते हो. जैन दर्शन से कि सारे तीर्थंकरों का कोई महत्व नहीं है, पांचों परमेष्ठियों का कोई महत्व नहीं है, क्रमबद्ध पर्याय वास्तु स्वातंत्र जो की आप बात कर रहे हो उनका कोई महत्व नहीं है. ये सब कुछ बिखरे मोती हैं. यदि इन बिखरे मोती के अंदर से प्योर सोल का धागा नहीं निकलता है, तब तक ये हार नहीं बनने वाला, ये माला नहीं बनने वाली है. और जहां एक प्योर सोल, शुद्ध आत्मा इन सब के अंदर से जाता है, तो हर चीज के मायने बदल जाते हैं, तीर्थंकरों के मायने बदल जाते हैं. यही तो आचार्य कुंद कुंद ने कहा, अरहंत सिद्धाचार्य पाठक साधु हैं, परमेष्ठीपण सब आत्मा की अवस्थाएं, आत्मा ही है शरण. वही बात तारण स्वामी ने कही. अरहंत सिद्धाचार्य उपाध्याय साधु ये सब क्या है? आत्मा के अलावा इनका कोई अपना अस्तित्व बचता है. इसलिए असली धर्मायतन, असली धर्म, असली तीर्थ मैं खुद हूं, मैं स्वयं हूं. आई एम द सोल, आई एम द प्योर सोल. द रियलाइजेशन ऑफ सोल, दिस इज द रियल रिलीजन, दिस इज द रियल जैनिज्म. Okay?
30 seconds for one last question.
Ankur Shastri, thank you very much. It is really enlightening, and also to Peter that he's called a speaker which we've never heard in the Digambar tradition in London about Taran Swami.
Yeah.
So it's great to know.
Thank you.
And you talked that Taran Swami has a Taran Panth. So I just want to know, why is it not included in the greater Digambar thing, because this is really enlightening that nobody knows about this, So therefore, keep it very short. But
Yeah.
Thank you very much again,
Yeah, okay, thank you. Anything else? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much once again for giving me this wonderful opportunity, for presenting myself in front of you. Thanks again. Thank you very much.
Now, wasn't that interesting? So interesting. Thank you, Mr. Ankur Jain, for taking us through such an interesting journey of Taran Swami. I'm